Your buddy Tony Lauinger being there.
Yeah, he's totally going to be there.
All right.
I
Jeff,
mean,
you can meet him face to face.
Yeah,
face to face. Hey,
he's not going to be there for it. Although I do have a funny story about Tony Lauinger. Okay, if we can do it.
Yeah.
So following Senate Bill 13 and all the support for it, the grassroots Republicans, like a lot of hardworking folks that just sort of go into all the little counties and precincts and stuff, they put forward an amendment to the party platform in Oklahoma. And they said, we want to amend the Republican Party platform to be very explicit. Abortion should be abolished as murder. Mm-hmm. And so they get that petition, they put it all around, and then they meet for the Republican Party platform writing committee to pass these resolutions. And the thing just passes like hugely popularly whenever all the just regular grassroots Republican folks are like, yeah, that's what we want to do. Let's abolish abortion, you know? Well, of course, Tony Lauinger is seriously opposed to
Vice President of National Right to Life.
Yeah, I assume your hearers know this, but yeah. Tony Lauinger, kind of the main pro-life lobbyist in Oklahoma. He's sitting in the room, probably a part of the group that doesn't want this happening.
Yeah,
he's like, oh my gosh, it's shifting to abolition. Well, after they pass this, some guy, another older gentleman, stands up in the Republican convention room and just says he wants to make a motion to recognize Tony Lauinger and all of his work that he's done over the years to make this resolution possible. And the whole room is like, they start clapping for him.
Oh no.
Like thanking him because they don't know. They're just good people. They're thinking pro-life means abolition.
You get rid of it.
And they think that that's what Tony's working, and this is like the fruition of his work. And poor Tony stands up and kind of, does the
oh no,
like accepts the praise for this thing which he's opposing.
Oh no.
And so it's this awkward thing. And then Senator Silk told me that after people are leaving and going home and stuff, Tony Lauinger comes over and is like, yeah, we should probably talk.
Oh no, that had to be so embarrassing.
I know. And thankfully, the abolitionists who are working this thing didn't stand up and be like, no!
Yeah.
Because it's so much funnier.
They kept themselves balanced.
But they just let him take the credit, which is kind of what we're going to have to do.
Amazing. And so people understand, there's some videos that might help you. So this is, don't go there now, but just later on, go and check some videos out. Look up Tony Lauinger. And I think if you do both Tony Lauinger and Russell Hunter, or Tony Lauinger and Rusty Thomas, you'll see some cell phone camera footage. Is that what it was?
I think I'm literally holding like a mini GoPro.
That might be it.
Hand.
Yeah.
But it's not great quality.
You need to see it because when a bill was being put forward to criminalize abortion in Oklahoma, the person who was opposing it was the Vice President of National Right to Life. So I'm going to let that hang for a second because it doesn't make any sense putting that together. National Right to Life, one of the largest pro-life organizations on the planet. It's working in other countries too, messing things up a lot, by the way. But he stops a bill to criminalize and end outright abortion in Oklahoma, the Vice President of National Right to Life. So at the Capitol building that day, Russell was there, Rusty was there, a number of other people, and they got a chance to sort of engage with him. It'd be good for you if you're skeptical about what we're saying right now about the pro-life industry and their methodology. It would be good for you to actually hear it and see it yourself. So it's not you just taking our word for it. Go listen to it. Go examine it. And then we were aware that Russell was doing that. We're praying for them, watching Rusty, seeing that stuff come up. And so we said, let's try to get Tony Lauinger on the phone. Let's see if he'll talk to us. Yeah. But he didn't know who we were. Mm-hmm. And so he just heard there was an opportunity for an interview, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it. So he comes in, and it was within a couple of hours, I think, of even seeing.
It was either right before or right after they started.
It was it was all in that same moment.
It was probably before we had even posted the video.
I think that's
I think that we had intercepted his letter, and we put it up on Facebook or
that's
something.
What it was.
That's what it was. Yeah. We saw the letter,
and then kind of like, what the heck is this? We're going to call this guy.
Yeah.
And so you had him on that night.
Yeah. And so what we said was, we're just going to let him talk. And we went into the discussion with him saying, let's do this in a way where we ask the questions and let him just sort of spill his position. So rather than getting into a war with Tony, we said, we want him to actually have on record, this is my position, this is what I believe.
Hey, Tony, here's a rope.
Yeah, so all we did was
Yep.
say, let's just ask the questions like a proper interview and journalist kind of thing. Like, you don't think abortion's murder, do you? And no, we're not working for that. And would you say the abortionist is guilty of murder? Nah, it's a fine line, but, no. But basically, he's like, no. So not the woman, not the abortionist, and then they're not working towards the end of abortion. He confesses to that. He says they can't essentially go against Roe. And then I ask him explicit questions about, is this a Christian movement? Do you want to use Christian language? Do you want to say things like put your faith in Jesus and repent of sin kind of a thing? And he said, no, they want to take a backdoor approach. So he confesses that they don't believe it's murder. They're not trying to criminalize it, and they are explicitly not a Christian organization, and they will not use Christian language. They want to take a, quote, backdoor approach. Vice President, national right to life. And if you think that is some strange part of national right to life, Tony's just got a weird position, then go watch Babies Are Still Murdered Here and listen to Tobias and one of the other ladies of one of the large organizations call women victims and say that they're victims of abortion. They talk about abortion in terms of it's my abortion experience. Not as a Christian would say that are working with Free the States or with an Abortion Now or Operation Save America, where you have Christian women going up and saying, I murdered my child when I was 19 years old. I killed my baby, and I've repented of that. God has saved me now, but I murdered my baby. Why is it you have women that know Jesus that have been saved, understand and recognize the reality of the sin, and just be willing to say, I murdered my child? But then you go over here to the pro-life movement, and they're drawing women in saying, no, you're a victim, sweetheart.
Yeah, forgive yourself.
Yeah, forgive
for what society did to you.
Exactly. and that's the MO. That's where they're going. And I got to say, we're not seeing the end of abortion. We are not seeing the end of abortion by following the pro-life lobby and the pro-life movement. Now, I do believe, Russell and Luke, I do believe that as God moves within this movement, a gospel-centered, Christian, consistent movement for justice, the pro-life movement will have to follow.
Yeah.
They have to follow, but only because they're now caught on the tail of those who are Christians as the Church of the Living God, fighting against this issue. And they listen, abortion is not going to be ended because the pro-life lobby as it stands.
Right.
When they become abolitionists, when they actually become Christian, when they start being consistent, establishing justice, then we're getting there. But they're not ending abortion as the pro-life lobby or industry. It will only be because of the movement of Christians trying to establish justice, criminalization, abolition, all the rest. That's how it's going to end.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know if you know this, Russ, the End Abortion Now was birthed during that interview.
That day.
Yeah,
while he was talking to Tony, because we had been talking when we saw that letter, like, we gotta do something else.
Right. Like, unbelievable.
So he's talking to Tony, and then Marcus and I were in the other room, remember, and
searching
we're like,
for URLs.
Yes, and we're like, what about End Abortion Now? Like, there's no way that's available.
Holy smokes, it's available. Yeah.
It's available.
Literally, Jeff gets on the interview, and we're like, guess what? We just bought End Abortion Now.
How crazy is it that in 45 years or whatever it was, 43 years, whenever this happened, that the URL End Abortion Now is available. It's like the pro-life movement didn't buy that one.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
Go try to find Choose Life. Arizona. That's probably not available.
Exactly. But it is interesting, and I want to express this. I know you don't want any praise at all, but I have to say how powerful this is. That you have very small organizations, just Christians, trying to work to establish justice that have shoestring budgets, have almost nothing in comparison to the tens of millions of dollars raised by even single organizations in the pro-life industry and lobby. And so I want this to encourage you. The amount of work that has been done and the fruit that is happening, say in Oklahoma, from a small huddle of very faithful believers who are speaking the truth with almost no money, is incredible, and it has outdone the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that have poured and are pouring in through the pro-life industry and movement in just Oklahoma itself. And so just think about that. Christians stand for truth, speak the truth, speak prophetically, and then God moves, and he brings movements like this that actually work. It's like it's a real consistent thing. So the reason I'm saying that is praise God for Russell, for all the people that are working with you, that are working this and doing this, Senator Silk. But this is the call. Please come. Be a part of this, because you might be thinking, man, this is a monstrosity. Like, this thing is giant. It's a Goliath. And okay, yeah, sure, but little stones knock down Goliaths. But, I mean, not to be pithy or anything, but like, you can end this. We can end this. But it takes the church, and it takes the gospel, and it takes the truth of God. It really, really does. And so you have to be there. You have to be a part of it. You can't just say, man, I'm really praying for the end of abortion, and great. And listen, send money to free the states. Do that. Send money to end abortion now so we can labor and we can turn the lights on and we can do what we're doing. Fine. But you know what? Honestly, right now, get to Oklahoma. Don't send a penny. Don't. Take any dollar.
Spend the penny to get there.
Take every dollar that you would have, say, sent to a pro-life organization or to free the states or to end abortion now, and right now use that money to get to Oklahoma to be on your feet. So, how do you like them apples? You have Christians saying to you, "Don't send me a penny, nothing." Right now, hold off any financial support for the moment, and just get to Oklahoma to actually stand with us. That's more important, more meaningful right now than anything you could send to help financially.